Hey folks, welcome back. Got another Yu-Gi-Oh market watch for you. If you didn't tune in for the GOAT deck profile that I put out yesterday, we are doing a giveaway. And you can either like and comment and subscribe on that video, or you can subscribe anywhere, it doesn't matter, but you can either like and comment on that video or like and comment on this video. And basically the winner will get these Magician Girls. One's a lemon, one is an apple magician girl, and one is a chocolate magician girl. If you didn't know, the chocolate magician girl, it's the most valuable. And it's going for around, I think, $4. I think altogether, I think they're worth like $8 or something. So it's a smaller giveaway, but just a token of appreciation for getting to 85 subscribers. Hopefully we can continue to grow the channel. My goal by this summer is to get to 200, and I think at this rate we can. So by the end of the year I want to get to 500, but try not to get my hopes up too much. But thanks for everybody who's continued to participate and watch this channel basically. But with that aside, let's get into this market watch. The first one we're going to go over is Earth Shattering Event. This card's had some price history, spiking up, spiking down. Let's see, I want to try to look at a year. It's not really reflecting much here, but I have seen this card go to $3 or $4 before, and it's around 50 cents from World Superstars. It's a prismatic secret rare and it looks amazing, but it has a pretty interesting effect. What it says is, if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, target one card in either player's graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. Also, neither player can send cards from the deck to the graveyard for the rest of this turn. And this is a continuous spell. But what's interesting to me is we have like a lot of like 3-axis decks running around, and decks that are utilizing stuff sending to graveyard. So for example, like 3-axis deck, you're using your Cherubini to dump. What specifically depends, but it could be like your adventure, your water enchantress for your adventure tokens. So this would allow you to shuffle back that water enchantress where they can't get into their Brave Engine. As if they didn't open it, which the chances of opening is not too good with like a 3-axis deck, because usually you're playing 50 to 60 cards. So like while they have ways to get to their Brave token engine, it's not like the easiest thing to draw. And if they did have it, that would be their first play. They wouldn't be concerned with dumping it with Cherubini. And then the other thing is, you also have decks like Based that are using Shooting Riser Dragon to dump the Fairy Tale Snow. So you could potentially shuffle back the Snow or Brave Engine there as well. So this card could be useful. Will it be used? Who knows? I think we're almost in a format that's too diverse. But I will mention one note. With your branded fusion, those send monsters from the deck to the graveyard to fusion summon, but then they bring out Albion, which can then banish those materials to fusion summon again. So if you could shuffle back a Vital, they use the Albion to get Dragoon out next. So if you could shuffle back a important piece of material, they wouldn't be able to get to their Dragoon. So that's a pretty cool interaction. I think this card can be pretty niche, and I think there definitely are better cards to play personally, like say Ghost Bell. But with that aside, I think that this card has interesting enough text to get bought out. And at the very least, it's a cool piece for your collection. So I think, yeah, at 50 cents, low risk, I would pick up a playset or two and just have them, just in case these do end up getting some attention at some point, which they do from time to time. But I guess my point is, I mean, you could play this if you were wanting to go with like a weird budget deck, a cool, like spicy list. You could probably play this, but I think the attention should shift more from this card seeing play to this card getting hyped. And I think that this card could very easily get hyped. Moving on. Oh yeah, just to just to say, we are going to be looking at a few cards from World Superstars in this market watch, just because it is an interesting set. Next is number 86 Heroic Champion, Rongomoid. I don't know. But this is a banned card from World Superstars. This card is absolutely busted. Basically, I think you can play this with like Elemental Heroes, because that can span level 4 warriors. But basically, if you can put max 5 level 4 monsters as material, or warrior type monsters as material. And then if you have 5, once per turn, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Or if you have 4, your opponent cannot normal or special summon monsters for the turn. It's just super good. Basically what you could do is, if you were going second, you could summon 5 materials. I guess no, never mind, you can't, because it's during your opponent's end phases that you have to detach material, but it's pretty broken, honestly. And it's a format shaping type card. But we do have some Heroic Champion support coming out. Do I think this card will get unbanned? I don't think so. But a lot of people are speculating on that, it looks like, because we went from about $1.40 to around a $2 market price. There's a clear uptrend. And I suppose if you look at this over a long time, it's just slowly been increasing. I do think, however, this is a good pickup, because with ban list, as cards get older, there's a little bit of a chance that there's more of a chance that they'll come back just because of power creep. It becomes less powerful, like something like, Snow, Fairy Tale Snow. We're now seeing where that's a good card, but is it going to shape the format? Not really. I think that this will always be a decent card, but I don't know, in the future, we don't know what kind of cards we're going to have. So, I mean, I think that they're, at the very least, if this card never comes back, it's probably going to see a little bit of hype, every time around ban list season, and probably will spike up in price. I haven't seen any crazy spikes with this yet. This last round from, I guess, this ban list period has kind of been the biggest spike I've seen in a while. But if you look back here, it was around $3. I think I picked these up for like $1.50 a while ago. But yeah, I could easily see this as one of those cards that just kind of slowly rises over time, and then whenever we get into ban list season, it just kind of rises a little bit faster, but never really goes down too much. And I think, yeah, this could easily be a $5-6 card. But if this gets unbanned, then it's going to be a completely different story. This has reprints, but this is the highest rarity as far as I know. It's got an ultra rare in the legendary hero decks, but this is the highest rarity for sure. If this gets unbanned, this is going to be an insanely expensive card. Like, it's going to be $35 within a couple of hours, and probably get much higher than that, because there's not very many here. There's only 60 copies available. But yeah, I would keep your eye on this card. But yeah, super safe investment if you just want this to hold for a long period of time. It's going to hold your money's worth and just slowly grow. The next, hold on one second, I keep triggering there's this little screen that pops down if you click it in it, and then I can't get to a different tab. But next is also a World Superstars card. It's Legendary Dragon of Light. I did own one of these myself about a year ago, and I offloaded them for $75, or offloaded it. I had one. But honestly, this was one of my favorite cards when I had it. You cannot use it in an official duel, but I used to, like, whenever I was playing casually, I would play Blue Eyes deck and play this with it, just for fun. And this card's insane, because basically you just need 3 level 8 monsters, which is super easy to get out. They probably should have said that they probably should have been more specific. If they would have been more specific and said it needs to have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons as material, I feel like maybe this card could be legal. But it says must be Xyz summon, cannot be special summoned by the ways. If this card attacks your opponent directly and reduces their life points to 0 while it has an Xyz material attached to it that was originally dragon type, you win the match, which is insane. I could see why this would be, super abusable. It's very similar to, I think it's, what was it, Victory Dragon back in the day. But yeah, I think for $30, you can't go wrong. But I would honestly keep you don't need to pick it up right now, but it does quickly go up towards 40. And it has been on the slow decline. I think that this could bottom out towards like 20 to 25. And the reason I think that is because we've seen the decline of the collector's market for the most part. Don't get me wrong, it's still very much strong. But if you look at the collector's market back in 2020, that's kind of when it was in its height. And everything that was Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, or anything like that was just super expensive, because people got their COVID checks and spent a lot of money on this kind of stuff. And yeah, I want to pick mine back up, but I think I do want to wait a little bit. I don't know that this is not going to get bought out because it's not usable, so it's only collectors, so you're only going to have a few sales here and there. I mean, it is selling still, don't get me wrong, but yeah, keep your eyes on this. And if you do really want this card, I wouldn't feel bad about paying $30 to $40. Not at all, especially since this was like 70 to 100 not long ago. I paid, I think, 50 for this at one point and then sold it for 70. And it's insanely good looking secret rare. Looks really good in a collection. Next is also World Superstars card. It is the number F0 Utopic Future. And this card is going for around $4 for near mint. This was at one point $10 to $12 before we got the rare reprint. But if you didn't know, this is the material that you need to make Utopic Future. So like if you're playing Utopic Future, you have to play this card. And even if you weren't playing Utopic Draco Future, it's still a really good card on its own. Basically, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can take control of that monster until the end of the battle phase, so it can help you push for game. And another thing you can do is like take control of their monster and link it off or something, So it's got a couple of uses on its own, but to make it, all you need is 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank, except for number monsters. So you can't use a number monster to make it. But commonly what I would do when I was making this in PK is just make 2 Leviaires, which is really good because you want to get your resources back from from being banished anyways with your Leviaires. So it was a win-win situation. But yeah, this and Draco are just insanely good. And this is really undervalued at this price. I just think that this should be, $8 to $10 card. Nothing crazy, nothing like a $30 card, but a little bit higher than this for sure. Next is number 60, Dagars the Timeless. As you can see, this has been spiking like crazy for a long time. It's around $18. I remember getting mine for 10. And I do want to do a video about this, but I keep forgetting. Let me pull the card out now because I have something to show you, and we'll kind of go on a tangent here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it too well because the lighting in here is not great. I guess I could turn the overhead on, but I don't really want to. I don't like getting blasted with light. Let's see. I'm going to try to pull this as close as I can. What you're looking for is up here. There is a dent in the card. I don't know if you can see it or not. I guess no. Okay, you can kind of see it. It's right there. It's pretty deep, actually, if you see it in person. But it was supposed to come near mint, and it didn't. And that's unfortunate because I went to list this card up, a couple of days ago when I saw this had gone up quite a bit in price. And unfortunately, I can't, because if I do, I'm gonna have to sell it as probably heavily paid because of that dent, or moderately played at best. And I wouldn't be able to get what I paid for it. So I'm just gonna keep it because I can still use it for my personal decks, which I do play it in a couple decks. But yeah, it really sucks. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because whenever you order cards, especially cards that are more expensive than like $5, make sure you thoroughly inspect them when you get them, because at this point it's too late. It's been months. I can't go back and ask for a refund or anything. And this is not like the only time this has happened to me. This happens to me all the time. Usually when I get a super expensive card, I will check. And I have caught some big problems while I'm doing that, thankfully. But sometimes when it's a smaller card, like $10 to $20, I don't check. And I've gotten burned a couple of times. There's actually another notable one that I've gotten burned on that I just recently noticed when I was inspecting these, because I inspected this one and I was like, I better look at some other cards too that I have listed for sale and just make sure. But make sure that it's this one. Yep, it is. If you can, let's see there's some clear big divots in the tail of the card. And up towards the top, one of these edges is, it's got a crease. Trying to get that. And then is there any other problems? I think that's mostly it. There's some pretty extensive damage on the back. If we get really close to this back corner, you can see that it's pretty chipped away. See that? And this was supposed to come as light play, and I mean it's definitely like heavily played / maybe even damaged for that corner, which is unfortunate because this is something that I wanted for my collection. I did buy 2 copies, one from 2 different sellers. The other one came as light play. It's really good condition, almost like a very lightly played. So sometimes you do get cards that are in better condition than advertised. But like this one, if I was going to sell it, I would probably sell it for like $3 or $4. Not that I'm going to, because I want to play with it, and it's not worth it to me to sell it for $3 or $4. But if I had to sell it, that's what the value I would attach to it is. But yeah, that's my point. It's just when you get cards, make sure you inspect them, especially order cards. And most of the time, vendors will be understandable. I've had some times where I've sent cards that I bought from somebody else that were supposed to be near mint. But then when the my customer gets them, they'll inspect them and be like, hey, there's this or that. And this doesn't happen too often because I am pretty good about inspecting my cards, but it has happened, especially when I have a lot of orders going through and I don't check all of them. If my prior belief was that this card is near mint because I bought it as near mint. And then I'll respond and be like, hey, I'll give you a full refund if you want to send the card back, or I'll give you 50% off, whatever, to make the situation right. But people do make mistakes, and it is nice when people are understanding, but at the same time, just be diligent about checking your cards. Oh, by the way, getting back into this, do I think you should buy this at this price? I do not. If you have them, I think it's fair to sell. One thing I will point out is this is from Battles of Legend, Heroes Revenge. And we do know that we're getting another reprint from this set, in Ghosts from the Past, which is Dragoobion. And honestly, I think if Heroes Revenge is on Konami's radar, I would not be surprised to see this card getting reprinted, and like maybe Trap Trick Sarah getting reprinted from this set, and maybe some of the other ones, because these are all, solo prints. And there's quite a bit of value in these. So I think adding these to the reprint set just gives that set infinitely more like attraction and value. But moving on, we've got number 100 Numeron Dragon from Dragons of Legend Unleashed and Dragons of Legend, the complete series. They're roughly the same price. I don't know why that is. I don't know if people forgot about the secret rare. But it's really dumb. But this card you summon off Dragoobion, and yeah, a light play first edition is $10.94, going up to around $13-14 for a near mint. I think this is a great card to buy. The secret rare looks really good, and this is just an insanely good card. And like I said, if you're playing Dragoobion, you should be playing this as well. And don't buy the reprint. Like, if you're going to get this card, just get the secret rare. This was going for a lot of money in the past, towards $20. But before then, I remember this card being like $35-40. So if you want a Numeron Dragon, this is the version to get. Next up is Guardian Chimera. My estimate is this card's going to be $75 when we get the structure deck, and it's certainly moving that direction. We are now at $50 per copy. And an update on my situation, like I said, I ordered one of these when it was $17 and it never came in. The seller did give me a refund. This has been 14 days, by the way, since I ordered it. They did give me a refund, but they claim that they don't have another one that they can send me, and that they assume that it got lost in the mail. But I think probably the real story is it was the last copy before it hit $25 or $30, something like that. And I bought it. And so I think they probably were going to send it, and they're like, oh, wow, this is we sold it for half the price of what it's going for. We're just going to keep it and say that it got lost. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because they didn't send it with tracking or anything, which is fine. Like I think it's fine as long as if it's under $35, you can ship it without tracking, kind of depending. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be getting this card or not, and I think $50 is too high for me for this card, because I was just going to get it for an investment to resell, and at this point there's not enough profit really left for me to risk it. I think it can go to $70, but the set's still in circulation, and it's been mass printed. It's not a short printed set by any means. So while it can go to 70, I can realistically, if I bought it for 50 and sold it for 70, I would probably make $3 or $4 after tracked shipping and TCG player fees. So to me, it's not really worth it, the risk. And there's also the possibility that this doesn't go to $70. So I don't want to take on $50 in risk for that little reward. Next is the Light Hex Sealed Fusion. If you don't know, I think I've mentioned this before, but if you don't know, basically when you use your branded fusion, you're going to send one Albaz and one of these to the graveyard to special summon Albion. And then this can be substituted for any one fusion material monster. And for Dragoon, you just need a Dark Magician and one Dragon Effect monster. Well, the Albaz is a Dragon Effect monster, and you can substitute this for Dark Magician. So you can use Albion to banish this and your Albaz from the graveyard to special summon Dragoon, and you don't have to play any Red Eyes fusions or anything like that. So this card's insanely good, and it is getting cleaned off the market. There's only a few copies, and the rest of them are like $10 or above. I think maybe the structure deck is maybe the same price as this, but you can still get these for $5 for late play first edition. I picked up 2 yesterday. But I think probably a lot of people don't know about this yet. This is still kind of early. But yeah, after this is gone, there's going to be nowhere to replace them. So you might want to get them sooner than later. Let's see. I also wanted to check in on the best-selling list for Yu-Gi-Oh products for today. It looks like the structure deck is definitely selling, and so is Ghost from the Past, and Guardian Chimera as well. And Guardian Chimera only has 22 listings left. So if you wanted to play, you're going to need it. I'm not going to personally play it, like I said, so I'm not too worried about it. Other than I am a little pissed off that I didn't get the copy I ordered. Alibur's back to 93. Like, don't waste your money on that. Like, you can get the reprint for like $15 when it comes out, I imagine. I could be wrong, could be more, but I think that's probably what it'll settle around to. I think this is just mainly people that want to play the structure deck the minute it comes out. So I understand that too. Yeah, it looks like the Brave engine is getting, a lot of sales as well. If you're going to play that, I would also get that soon, because I would not be surprised once Alibur floats down a lot in value that this will get a lot of attention. Prosperities are expensive too and getting bought up. Hopefully, if you wanted this card, you have it. I didn't mean to click on this, but I guess since we did, we'll just go ahead and check it. It's 54. That's really not bad. And there's a play set. But it's been pretty much the same products and same cards that have been getting bought recently. So Ice Dragon's Prison, just wanted to note that these are starting to get lower on listings. This was in the 200s not too long ago. And it's still around $10, so it's not too late to pick these up. But like I said, I think you should at least have a place up for yourself. But I think it's a good investment too to have additional copies. Next is Hobby League Sengan. So this is like one of the cheapest versions of Sengan that you can get. That's hollow. The only other one is Gold Rare, and that one's like $15 as well, 15, $17. But this one's going for 21 for late play limited. I know I was talking to somebody yesterday, not in the live, it was in the premiere of the giveaway video that I did, Slash Deck Profile. And we were talking about whether hobby leagues were legal or not. So I did a lot of digging last night because I wanted to find out a definitive answer, because people have always told me these aren't legal to play. But whenever I would play these at locals anyways and never have a problem. And the answer that I came up with is there's nothing in official competitive rules that say you can't play hobby league cards. And the issue that I was seeing coming up is that some judges won't allow them. But the only reason that would happen is if they're warped and you can clearly tell them out of a deck. Like if you were to place your cards together and it was warped, because it's so thick, if it is warped, it will stand out among your cards. So if you want to order one, and it probably won't come in too warped. Mine, all of the ones that I've ordered, I haven't had any warping issues, especially Sengan. Sengan seems to be a pretty solid card. But if it does come in a little warped, just make sure that you put it under a book or, kind of bend it back out before your tournament, and you should be good to go. But, with that said, I think that this is probably, for your money, the best version to get. If you really wanted to play it safe, the Secret Rare is $30. But I think the Hobby League is my favorite copy for sure. It just looks so good. And yeah, I think it's really not, if you got double sleeves, it's really not a problem. I think general rule of thumb, if you can tell it from the rest of the cards in your deck, then it's an issue. But I've put a couple of Hobby Leagues in my deck that, they're not warped, of course, and I shuffled them up in double sleeves, and there's no way you can tell, which card is which. So I really don't think it's a problem, and I think you're safe to play them. And hopefully that addresses the issue. It's not illegal. The answer is you can't play it. Next is Dragoon. Like since we went over the Hex Fusion first, I wanted to also include this. If you want to play that Hex engine with your branded stuff, you might want to pick this up before it's too late. There's some for 110. I'm gonna refresh this, but I think it should be pretty current. This probably will be a $140 card shortly, because although we're getting a reprint, it's not going to be until September, most likely, when the Megatons, I think it's probably coming out in September. And so if you want to play branded, I mean, that's pretty much 2 formats. And by then branded could be limited, like we could have a limited branded fusion or something by then. So if you want to play this deck at full power, you pretty much need to go ahead and get this card now. I'm unfortunately going to have to pick mine back up at a higher price than I sold it for, which does suck, but it is what it is. I do think Verte might get banned. And if that happens, DPE will probably be less popular, and this will be a lot more popular because you don't need Verte to make this anymore with the branded stuff. So just keep an eye on that stuff. Honestly, if I see Verte get banned, this list that should be coming out, it should be this month, I would imagine, then I'll probably just get a Starlight one, because I think that they'll all go crazy, but we will see. Yeah, but in regards to that, I think that there's a big possibility they're going to take Fusion Destiny down to 1, and they're going to ban Verte, and that'll be all she wrote for DPE. But then again, they might not, because they still need to sell the 10s, and DPE will be a big selling point for that. But at the same time, they have a lot of other selling points, so I don't think they even really need that too bad. Pot of Extravagance, we got the reprint in the structure deck as a common for $5. I think you should wait on these. I think these will go down a little bit because there's too much value in those structure decks right now. Like you could sell all the cards in there singly and double your profits than just selling the regular sealed deck. So just wait for this to calm down. I think there's too many good staples in there for this to be this high. I think you'd probably be able to get this for $3 or $4, but even $5's not too bad if you just want to play it. If you just want to, you know, not worry about it and go ahead and get it. It's not going to get bought out per se, but there might not be too many structure decks available because I think almost every player is going to want at least 3 structure decks. But if you do want the premium gold, it's like $8. I think that's perfectly fine. If you want any of these versions, I would wait until the structure deck releases. But to be perfectly honest with you, the Prismatic Secret Rare at $15 is kind of, I don't know how much further it could really go down from there. Maybe $10 to $12, but I think that 15 is pretty good. If you want them, I think now's the time to get them. I'm probably going to wait until the structure deck releases and then pick up my playset because I do need a playset for a couple of my decks. I do like the ultra rare too. It's clean, but I think I'm gonna get the prismatic because I had a playset of the prismatics before, and I just really like that version. It looks really good. And then I think the last card that we have is Masquerade. I picked up one 2 days ago for $9, and this card is just really, really strong for all things branded, but it is going for $12.50 now, and there's quite a few copies. But yeah, it bottoms out to 14. I would just be very careful that if you need one to go ahead and get them, because I do think that they'll settle in probably around that 15 mark. But other than that, that's all I have for this market watch. Let me know down in the comments section if you agree with the cards that I went over, if I said they're good pickups or good sells. And then if there's any other cards that you notice are moving up or moving down, let me know, or if there's any cards that you think that people should be picking up. I think the biggest pickup from all of these cards, I mean, obviously the Guardian Chimera, if you still don't have it, if you're going to play it, because I mean, waiting is just not a good idea on that card. But other than that, it's definitely, this is going to be the MVP, because I just don't see them reprinting this card. It's probably way under the radar. It would be nice if they gave it an ultra rare reprint and Ghosts from the Past, but I just doubt it. But we'll have to see. But I would play it safe and just at least get a copy for yourself. And the worst that could happen is they reprint it and it'll probably be a 50-cent ultra rare, and that's it, and you lost like $4, but it doesn't matter. You'd still have your copy to play with. It's better than waiting and this card being like a, like O-Lion where it's like $15. Yeah, that's my opinion. But thanks for stopping in. Enjoy your weekend. We'll probably have some more videos coming out this weekend, depending on what kind of time I have. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys later.